I have been running a club called Bar for almost 7 years. Oh yeah, maybe together with the other one even longer. We stopped with Bar in 2019. I'm still organizing bar events, but next to that I'm also looking for new plans, new ideas, new concepts. That's how I started Antwerdam with Lawrence right now. I run a record label called Bar Records. I DJ in the weekends, and during weekdays since a month I make the program for Perron for when hopefully it's gonna open again in September.
Hi, I'm Lawrence. I'm originally from Antwerp, Belgium. I moved to Amsterdam at the end of 2018 to do an internship, and right now I'm working at Rush Hour. I started doing music just by DJing, and I joined Vice City, which is a party in Antwerp, a couple of years back, and we put up some parties in different clubs around the city. I'm starting my own record label soon, which is called Cape St. Francis. You'll hear more about that hopefully really soon. So, story of how we met is actually quite funny. When I did my internship, I actually had to email with Jetti. My internship was back in 2018. We met last summer, so summer of 2020. And we had to email back and forth a bit because I worked at a booking agency and Jetti was booking a lot of the artists. And I heard some stories of Jetti and my colleagues at the booking agency having a small party in the office that I worked at. And it's like, oh, apparently you had a party in my office, blah, blah, blah. And Jetti was actually playing that night in DOKA. And she's like, oh, really? Were you the intern, blah, blah, blah. But we were both not so sober anymore.
No, actually, all I remember was that I started talking to you in the front of the DJ booth. And then it was like, I think we maybe said about 20 words to each other, had a dance, and then the next day we started talking to each other. And then a few weeks later we found out we have a mutual love for drinking beers on a terrace, so that's what we're doing now.
I'm gonna find my black ass smoking weed on the curb. But you don't understand, mama, why I need my herb. She took a hit.
This is also like an expansion of the story you just heard. So we just met, we started drinking beers every once in a few weeks. He lives in Amsterdam and I live here, so we would just visit each other. And then at a certain point he would come here, and it was all like in the pandemic obviously, but I still had a basement, the bar basement, and we really missed listening to music on a big sound system, both of us. So basically what we did was one night, when there was this little time in summer where the terrace was still open, and what we did was we drank a lot of beers, and then we dove into the old bar basement and set up the sound system and started playing together. And we play very different music normally. He always calls me tech. You're very tech, you always say. Which I don't think I am, but I know what you mean. I'm very electronic.
Yeah, I'm more used to playing like live instruments and like disco, soulful house stuff. Trumpets and vocals, as Jetti calls it.
Yeah, and then I think we both really love R&B.
Yeah, we found a mutual love in the stuff that we can't really play at the places we normally play at.
Yeah.
So that's how the idea of doing something where we could play our guilty pleasure tracks.
I don't think it's guilty pleasures.
Sometimes it is. I mean, there's always a couple of guilty pleasures, tracks that I wouldn't really play at other venues or parties maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so basically, if you combine the R&B, hip hop stuff, instrumental stuff a bit, and the tech stuff, then it's quite easy to land on the spectrum of Ghettotech.
Yeah.
And that night we were playing together, and he actually already knew, because I play super fast-paced music, and he normally really doesn't.
No, I really don't.
So he already, because we knew we were gonna play together, he already collected like fast-paced music, and then we found out that we were already thinking about, oh, I'm playing with this person that doesn't play the music that I normally play. So we both already thought about what are we gonna play, and it was the same. So then we said, okay, this is super cool that we took account of each other, let's do something with it. And then we started this Antwerdam stream, and hopefully parties when we can do it again. So it's not only Ghettotech, it's Electro, fast-paced stuff. So Electro, Ghettotech, juke, footwork. Today I took some funk.
Yeah, Jetti has more of a UK background with a lot of dubby, breaky stuff, which I really don't have a lot of. I have more of the classic stuff that evolved from the hip house, that turned into juke, Ghettotech, the stuff that DJ Saul plays. But I also, play the old school stuff, pitch it up a bit. I think if you look at the lineup we have today, which is ourselves and then a 1, 2, 3 and Jay Osama, is that it's nice to have someone that's a bit known, but not necessarily known for playing the stuff that we like to hear at Antwerdam. Yeah. And so like a 1, 2, 3 who's been in the game for 20, 30 years.
A long time.
Long time. And then Jayo, who's been in the game for not as long, but who's up and coming and doing a really good job and also loves his music. I think people like to play for us because they can do the things maybe they wouldn't really play at other events.
Yeah, as for example, I 1, 2, 3, I know him for a long time already, and I used to book him back in the days already because of his juke and footwork sets, which he's very good at, but he wouldn't play it that much because like in normal venues he would just play house music. Yeah. And I actually really prefer this music because it's super cool and different. So exactly what you say. It's the people, most of them are friends or like people we know through gigs or whatever, that we know that they also play this kind of music. But not always. Yeah. So people can hear a bit of a different side of them. Yeah.
There's a lot of people with a secret collection of ghetto and booty stuff that they wouldn't necessarily play in a normal setting.
So I already had a big love for Miami bass, booty, Ghettotech, etc. for a long, long time. In bar I organized events which were called Miami Bar. It was like not a lot of people showed up, but it was super fun. I invited Moody Maron, I 1, 2, 3, several people to play this kind of genres. The funny thing is, I started playing with this guy here, and then we said to each other, whoa, we're gonna do this again, pick up these events again, like pretty themed. But now it seems like a lot of people dig it. All of a sudden.
The sound is very hot right now. If you look, for example, if you look at the Clone best-selling list on their website, I feel like more than half of the releases are at least influenced by or could be played at an Antwerdam event. Yeah, so I don't feel like it's that niche anymore like it was a couple of years back when people looked at it like, oh, what are you playing?
The funny thing is, I didn't think like, oh, let's jump in them, because I didn't really notice it. But then the moment we started doing these things together, I noticed it. You know, it's the same when you buy a red car, you only see red cars. Yeah. And the every time I post a radio show, people are super enthusiastic. And actually, some of my friends are saying, whoa, I really love Ghettotech. Why didn't you do that before? And I'm like, what the fuck? Why didn't you tell me?
It is also like the most straightforward party music there is, I think.
There is.
Like, if you have a lot of energy and you want a night, you're gonna love Ghettotech.
And I guess a lot of people miss partying now.
Yeah, I think that has to do something with it as well.
So yeah, the events in the future are gonna be like... fast-paced music in like several places, and I hope because he is from Amsterdam and Antwerp actually.
Antwerdam.
And I'm from Rotterdam, so we have connections everywhere, and let's just see if we can do showcases in Belgium and the Netherlands, you know?
I think if nice music comes along and the platform grows,
then we'll have to start another record label.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just starting a label and I have a label, but I think if the like we wouldn't plan it, but if
the right music would come along or some good artists, I think we'll definitely do something label-ish.
Even digital releases, you know.
I think digital would work better for this stuff.
Yeah.
We wouldn't play vinyl.
Stresses us out, right?
Yeah. No, I think we're most looking forward to doing events. And then if a label would come along, that would be awesome. But events would be great, and keeping a radio show going with a mix every month or every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right now it's every week.
For us, it's also a good excuse to see each other and drink beers together.
Exactly.